says that Christmas originally a pagan festival is beyond all doubt. The time of the year and the ceremonies with which it is still celebrated prove its origin. In Egypt, the son of Isis, the Egyptian title for Queen of Heaven, was born at this very time, about the time of the winter solstice. The very name by which Christmas is popularly known among us, Yuli Day, proves at once its pagan and Babylonian origin. Yuli is a childly name for an infant or a little child, and as the 25th of December was called by our pagan Anglo-Saxon ancestors Yuli Day, or the Child's Day, and the night that preceded it, Mother Night, long before they came in contact with Christianity. That's sufficiently proves its real character, far and wide, and the rose of paganism was his birthday observed. So give me a precept, give me Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 15 to 19.
I'll read it.
So we're going to prove that Christmas is a pagan holiday through the scriptures.
Deuteronomy 4, 15 and 19. Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on the day that Yahweh spake unto you, and pour out of the midst of the fire, that ye corrupt yourselves and make a greater image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of anything foul that flies in the air, the likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth. Unless I lift up thine eyes to heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon, and the stars, even all the hosts of heaven, if ye driven to worship them and serve them, which Yahweh power divided to all nations under the whole heaven. Yahweh,
so that's just showing you how that we're not worshiping other gods. When we worship Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Yahushai alone. Christmas is about other gods, it's about other idols. That's why we celebrating Christmas. When you celebrate Christmas, it's kind of like worshiping these other gods. And the 10 Commandments shows you should have no other God before you.
That's the back up exactly what I said. It's not with the verse 26, verse 1. You shall make you no idols, no graven image, neither rear you up a standing image. That Christmas tree that standing image. Understand?
Yeah.
Or stone in your land to bow down unto it, for I am Yahweh your power. Right?
So it's showing you in the scriptures. Like I said, if you read your Bible, people have more understanding. But people, they don't read their Bible. They just read John 3:16 and they call it up to date. You worship the other gods. These niggas, when they say they marry East Indian, they will worship her gods. Or, they worship Shiva Ganesh. The Shiva Ganesh is not for you. That's for the heathens. You must be worshiping Hashem Yahushai. It says, when you sit down and analyze the various pagan religions that spread throughout the ancient world, you quickly realize that all of them can pretty much be traced back to ancient Babylon and to a handful of characters. In Genesis verse 8, after the flood of Noah, the first great world ruler to arise once human civilization got rolling again was named Nimrod. But I think that's not the King James version. That's a different version. But that's just showing you that Nimrod is in the Bible. It says Nimrod was also known as Marduk and Gilgamesh, and after his death, he eventually came to be worshipped as Baal, Osiris, Apollo, and many other sun gods. Nimrod was exceedingly wicked, and he even married his own mother. Her name was Semiramis.
And that Nimrod goes back to a Hamite.
That's true.
He's a Hamite.
Yeah, he was an Ethiopian man.
And
narcissistic in Kushai.
that is why the book of Babylon became about two. They had West Ethiopia and they had West Ethiopia and East Ethiopia. You understand? So the West Ethiopia was a different people in a different tribe from the East Ethiopia. You understand? A lot of people get carried away with that. But that book have a lot of knowledge.
It's like a lot of our people bump out of their minds, worshiping the Ethiopian traditional Ethiopian this and you know what I'm saying? And they going off on that. All people, Israel is like sheep without a shepherd, and they scatter all over.
Alright, it says her name was Semiramis, and from her came virtually all the goddesses. of the ancient world, including Isis, Ishtar, Ashtoreth. That's in the Bible. Asherah, Aphrodite, Venus, Diana. Many of these goddesses came to be associated with the moon, and that's when you get the word Monday, because Monday comes from the moon god. And that's Semiramis. She's all these goddesses, just different names. It says after Nimrod died, 2167 BC, Semiramis became pregnant. The people were instructed by Semiramis to believe that Nimrod, the sun god, had been reincarnated, and he was coming back as a child that Semiramis was carrying. The birth of her son, Tammuz, became associated with the rebirth of the sun. This is the origin of all the art throughout the ancient world that we see of a goddess holding her child. It could all be traced back to Semiramis and Tammuz. Whether Tammuz was actually born in December 25th or not, the truth is that in the ancient world, this day became associated with the rebirth of the sun god, Nimrod, in the person of Tammuz. Right? And Ishtar's, the Statue of Liberty is also Ishtar too. The big Statue of Liberty in New York. So give me a scripture. Let's go to Ezekiel. Is that Tammuz? That's in the Bible too. The worship of the sun.
It goes back to Ishtar. It goes back to Ishtar, but also goes back to transvestite.
That's true.
Transvestite, I even know.
That's chapter. You know that scripture is, right?
Yeah.
But Tammuz in Ezekiel.
Ezekiel 7.
I think chapter 8. Yeah, Ishtar is also the goddess of freedom, which means is do as I will. In America, they had that motto, do as I will, be a faggot, be a lesbian. That's what the Ishtar, that's what she promote,
And this guy, that was his logo. He said, do as thou wilt, and that will be the whole of the law. You understand? And America adopt that. That's why America is known as Babylon the Great. You living in Babylon the Great and you feel it's all okay. This whole thing is coming down. It's coming down on your head if you don't repent.
Yeah, that's right.
God will no longer know you so we put to death. And if the Israelites do the children, we put to death too.
That's right. Yeah. So give me Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 13 to 15.
I'll read it.
Yeah.
Alright, Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 13. He said also unto me, turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations that they do. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of the house, which was toward the north, and behold, there sat a woman weeping for Tammuz.
So Semiramis, that'll be Semiramis, that'll be Ishtar, that woman right there. It says weeping for Tammuz, right? Tammuz, that's Nimrod. She's weeping for him. He's right here in the document says that he had died, right? But
That's like, and somebody's nigga woman weeping for Jesus in the churches.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah?
That's true. That's true.
Jesus!
Yeah.
Then said he unto me, verse 15, then said he unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? Question, turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abomination than those.
That's right. Those guys, they're abomination, man. But that's just to prove how that it says right here. They said woman weep for Tammuz. That's what this is talking about. That's what that is talking about. That's talking about Semiramis. All right. So we're going to continue into the document. It says, in fact, it is said that as a part of this winter solstice celebration in ancient Babylon, pagans believe that a heroic supernatural figure, the sun god Nimrod, would visit an evergreen tree and leave gifts on December 25th. Now keep in mind that this was long before Jesus was ever born. From its early Babylonian roots, the celebration of the birth or rebirth of the sun god on December 25th came to be celebrated under various names all over the ancient world. You see, the winter solstice occurs a few days before December 25th each year. The winter solstice is the day of the year when daylight is the shortest in ancient times. December 25th was the day each year when the day started to become noticeably longer. Thus, it was fitting for the early pagans to designate December 25th as the day of the birth or the rebirth of the sun god. Right? So, I want to continue. Someone get ready to give me a precept. Give me Sirach chapter 30, verse 19. Right?
Chapter what?
Sirach chapter 30 verse 19.
13.
Yeah, I'll let you know when to read it.
Alright.
Yeah, it says Sunday worship, Christians with his Saturnalian excess through the years, with his watch night and attended debaucheries, Easter with its eggs, bunnies, hot cross buns, and sunrise worship, May Day with his maypoles and lawn festivals, which May Day, that was started by the Illuminati. It says, are not the feasts of Yahweh as commanded in the Bible, but are definitely